They laughed during your affliction period, during the time that you were suffering, and you was going through a phase in your life where God wasn't punishing you, but he was preparing you for your purpose. You were certain things and people that you had to see for who they were. But these are people who are seeing you talk about God during your affliction. They see you praying. They see you holding on to his hand. They see that you are unwavering in your faith, that you are standing still in his teachings and the word and the promises of God. These weren't people, understand something when I tell you, these weren't people, the people who went against you weren't people who were strangers, people that you just passed by on the street, your everyday Johnny come by latelys. These were people who you had helped. These were people who you thought were friends of yours because of the way that you helped them, because of the way that you were there for them. You just naturally thought that that would be something that would be given back to you. You did not think that there was such hate and disdain for you in these people's hearts and spirits, but something that they masked very well, evidently, for you to have been around these people for as long as you was, trusting them in the way that you were, and the manner that you were, on the level that you were. These were people that you considered your friends. The people that I'm talking about when I say that they mocked you, they laughed at you during your affliction period, these were your so-called friends. These were your so-called family members, and they're not so-called, they are family. And they'll never come and tell you what they know, the hand that they had in you going through what you went through during your times of betrayal, of affliction, of struggle, of pain, of loss. They would never tell you. These were exes of yours that held a grudge. These were lovers of yours. All these people that you never thought was on your neck, on your back. You thought that at the end of the day, if you fell out with people, you stopped talking to people, you are a grown woman, you are a grown man, this is your life. As long as I did not do it with ill intent or malice in my heart, you thought people would understand, you thought people would move forward, because at the end of the day, it's your life. You didn't think people would be so warped and consumed and obsessed in destroying you and defaming you and completely destabilizing you to humiliate you, and wanted people to stand around and see it, take pictures of it, partaking in it. And I keep telling you, these people know where their soul is going. Don't you think for one second that they do not know. Everything of what you went through is temporary, including this body, this earthly body, in this physical realm, okay? Of everything of what we feel, what we achieve, it's all temporary, because one thing that you cannot outrun, okay, that you cannot fight the inevitable, we all have to go home one day. Some people are going to another home. But we all have to meet our maker. We all have to answer for the things that we've done. And there are some people who do not care because they know where they're going, and they're going to bring down as many people and souls and spirits as they can. Now, what I tell you at the end of the day, you can't save somebody that don't want to be saved. You're not going to tell me that not at one point these people did not see or know what the plan and what the ulterior motive was. It wasn't that they were so sinkered into who they was working with against you. It was that these people just didn't like you, didn't want you to rise, didn't want you to be better. And I'm telling you, on everything that I love, not only, like I said, God is going to bless you in front of these people. These are people that mocked you during a period in a time where they could have showed God what their true nature was if they truly wanted forgiveness and deliverance. This is why I tell you, mankind don't make me, don't shape me, can't break me, can't bless me, can't deliver me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So people who wanted to mock you and joke you to be a part of some group, people who had to lose pieces and bits of themselves in order to be accepted, they're not understanding how you don't care that people don't like you, or people call you out your name, or people will be willing to put groups together to sit up here and go up against you, because you understand something. It's not that you did anything to these people, it's your light. And if people can hate you and go up against you in this manner because of the light that you carry, that means that they're standing there operating in something completely different and darker than you ever want to know or realize. So I tell you, at the end of the day, some people can't be saved. There are people who are understanding the dark plots and missions and groups and the cults that they were a part of. And I'm telling you, on everything that I love right now, they did not mind going down as long as they knew that they would see you go down. There are some people that they're not gonna mind. They don't care about what their judgment or what's going to be passed down upon them, because in their minds and in their hearts and their spirits, because they're lost in their souls, it was worth it in order to see you suffer, in order to see you be without, in order to see you be left destitute, in order to see you be deprived. And I'm telling you right now, you don't bother people, you don't curse people, When you are home, you want to unwind, you want to relax, you want to be able to take a hot shower, you want to be able to eat your food, you want to be able to pay your bills. You don't give a fuck about anything outside of that. I hate to be so direct with it. So I keep telling you, anybody that has something to say about you and you are not around, it's almost like a program and a tick that goes off in these people, because we battle not against flesh, but against spirits and principalities of which we cannot see and fight alone. Your light irritates a lot of demons that dwell within people. Some that possibly didn't know them demons were dwelling and lying dormant within them. Okay? But I'm telling you right now, and everything I love, they mocked you during your affliction. They mocked you because you were going through a struggle period and season of your life. They're not going to be laughing and mocking you any longer after God get through and do for you what it is that he's about to do for you. Just because we choose to be on this path, when we talk about God, does not mean that we're perfect. It also does not mean that we are without being attacked by those who oppose us, by opposing forces that wants to ignite this flame beneath people to go up against us, or something that's just within these people that just don't want to see you live, don't want to see you prosper, don't want to see you be blessed, don't want to see you have peace. And I'm telling you, within everything within me, people 9 times out of 10, these people are people who are insecure. You don't care if God called you home today. You could say you went out being a real one. You did not sell yourself short. You did not sell your soul or sell out in order to be accepted, in order to be without struggle, in order to be supported, in order to be liked, or in order to be loved. Whoever is going to like you, whoever's going to support you, whoever's going to love you, they're going to do it with you being you, with you going out being yourself, thinking for yourself, doing for yourself. And that's what people don't understand, because you got a lot of weak-minded, weak-vesseled, weak-spirited people that could be so easily broken, but fool people, because these are the people that stand so strong within their truth as long as they know that they're part of a group that supports them. Let them lose that group. Let them lose that stability. Let them lose those friends. Let them lose that stamina or charisma or whatever it is that they pride themselves on having. Will they still know themselves? Will they still have enough wherewithal to move forward in life when everything goes against them and all else fails? These are people who stood where they were and watched you stand the test of time, knowing that they stood wherever they was at and could never do or live or go through what it is that they put you through. And I'm telling you right now, you aren't the only one who went through a period of their life where they were afflicted, where they were monitored, where they were attacked. A lot of people, like I said, and you should know this, right? Joseph went through a 13-year affliction period starting from the time that he was sold into slavery. Okay? Joseph went through a 13-year affliction period. Now, I don't know for how long or on and off, because I'm telling you, these people don't want you to have or step into the promises and the blessings that God has for you. So if people have been attacking you for 13 years, 15 years, 20 years, on and off, they have been behind the reason why you went through certain periods in your life where you went through job losses, you went through ridicule, you went through severe smear campaigns, humiliation rituals. People were doing a lot of dark things against you, dabbling into things that would cause an abrupt ending for your life and things that were going on in your life. So whether these people were messing around with blood magic, death magic, graveyard magic, whether these people were going to voodoo priests or practitioners, whether these people were witches or warlocks themselves, they used their gifts for the wrong thing. They used their power, their resources, and their will and their might to condemn and smite someone who was innocent. And then when I say you're innocent, do I mean that you are perfect? Do I mean everybody's supposed to like you and kumbaya around you because you don't mess with them? But also what I'm saying is, why would you mess with somebody if somebody ain't messing with you? Why are you going out your way? You got to understand what this is what I'm trying to tell you and wake you up to what this is. If you are walking in your truth, walking on your path, why would someone want to completely disrupt that, what you had going on, and say that it's because you weren't talking to them, because you walked away from them, because you don't want to deal with them? It was something in them that God was warning you about that you ignored. You kept them around you, but it got to the point where you could no longer ignore. If people don't want the best for you, God is not going to bless you around these people. People don't want the best for you. God is not going to allow you to be comfortable in these environments, in these spaces where these people dwell, because he wants to bless you. He loves you. But that does not mean that you're going to not go through a period where you're not being attacked, where you're not being defamed, where you're not being hurt, or people are not trying to come for your neck, come for your life and everything in it. Joseph went through a 13-year affliction period. Does that mean that God did not love Joseph? Does it mean that he was not favored? Does it mean that he was not? Because see, I'm telling you on everything I love, people can be evil, but they're not stupid. They're not retarded by a long shot. They're not retarded by a long shot. They play like they dumb. They play like they got all the sense and that you don't have no sense. When Joseph went through his 13-year period of affliction, did that mean that God did not keep him, was not covering him during that period of affliction, where he could have lost his life because of lies, where he could have taken his own life because everything was going against him, and as he felt like his childhood, he was snatched away from the very people that loved him? He was going through loss, blockages, being incarcerated. Man, please, losing his freedom. 13 years Joseph went through that. In the Bible, it does not fully, I mean, you can correct me on this, but from what I was reading, it seems like Job went through an affliction period where we could say it was up to a year, a couple of months, going on up to like 12 months, right? So up to a year, Job was going through his affliction period. Job lost loved ones. He lost his business, lost his stability. You understand what I'm saying? He had those who surrounded around him that did not understand why yet was he keeping his faith in the man that he did not see, that clearly is not pulling us out of our affliction or not pulling us out of whatever it is that we're going through. And you never wronged anyone. You never lied on anyone. You never cursed anyone. You never raised your hand or would use your power to do mess like this, what people did to you. Job's wife questioned him. Job's friends mocked him. Does that mean that Job wasn't blessed? Does it mean that he wasn't favored? Does it mean that Job was not intended to receive the blessings and the promises of God? Does it mean that when Joseph went through what he went through, that he was not destined to receive the blessings and the promises of God? David went through a 15-year affliction period, right? He didn't take the throne until he was 30 and reigned 40 plus years once he took the throne. Somebody thinks that they got your back up against the corner, but they really don't know who they fucking with. When I say that whoever backs you and whatever loved ones have crossed over, that watches over you, there's a strength that was in you before people even really got a chance to know you for who you were. There's a spirit that's within you, baby, that cannot be killed. It cannot be altered. It cannot be watered down. It cannot be manipulated. People have tried everything against you to think that if you think about it, you sit down, you think about all the times of what could have been said, shoulda, coulda, woulda, he say, she say, you was not present, but it doesn't mean that people weren't talking about you, right? A lot of things that people view you in the ways that people view you, situations that you went through that people look down on you, they would never think highly of you, no matter what you accomplish, no matter who you are, no matter what you say, no matter who backs you, no matter if they know that you are valid, no matter if they know that you are blessed, no matter if they know that you are favored. People want it for themselves. People can see something in you that they know every time they look at you is a reflection of what they will never be and what they are not. So when people come around you and they have to shove their chest and pat their chest and show you who they are and what they got and what they know, understand something, baby. It's not because you are not who you say you are. It's because you are who you say you are that people have to feel the need to be in that kind of energy when they come around you, because it's almost like they have to prove something, and coming around you and stomping on you in the most lowest and vulnerable moments of your life. And this is when these people feel like they are powerful and they can go around and talk about you the way that they do, betray you the way that they do, because they want people to look at them in a light that they are not. Because when they look at you, it's a representation of what they will never be. So if they have the opportunity to be better than you, if they have the opportunity to use magic or any kind of spiritual practices against you to bind your will and your way forward so that they can move forward in life and be better than you, understand something. Who would do that for a Bigfoot, big back, slew foot? Nobody. You got to understand who you are, baby. You got to understand who you are and why you're being attacked. Got to understand who you are and why these friends turn into foes, why these allies, you understand what I'm saying, turn into adversaries. It is not normal, it's spiritual. It's not normal because it's spiritual, okay? David was running from Saul. David's life wasn't his life. Job's life wasn't his life. Joseph's life wasn't his life. There was a period where can you imagine 13 years going through affliction? 13 years, okay? 15 years, months going on up to 12 months, a year, going through affliction. I'm talking about anything that could go wrong. Getting down to your last dollar in your bank account, baby. Bills going into default. You understand what I'm saying? Bill collectors calling you. Your loved ones sick. Losing people on end to end. But somehow, some way, people couldn't have you the way that they wanted to have you, because there was a small, still voice that you listened to at the end of the day when you was going through your affliction. This is something what people don't understand. But it's see, and vindicating you, it's also a splash of validation that's in the mix of that. Because somebody would have lost their mind if they was going through what you was going through, and lost what you lost, and was defeated and blocked the way that you was blocked and defeated, and had to come to terms and grips with everybody that was somebody that you thought that you loved, that you thought was a somebody that you helped, because they weren't just no anybody in your eyes, had a hand in it, talked about it, mocked you for it. Oh, I'm just saying, you don't know. I'm just saying, you don't know what we talk about. I'm just saying. People be saying it. People be weird. I'm just saying. Oh, you could tell me. I'm trying to call you, and I was trying to like follow up with you and see what's up with you. I mean, tell me. You got to tell somebody. They was playing that role, huh? Play that shit to the fucking T. They had a job to do, baby. That's what you got to understand and get your emotions up out of it. People had a job to do. People had a job to do. People felt intimidated by you. They had a job to do. People wanted to be better than you in the community and the family that you come from, and wanting to be better than you, wanting to shame you, humiliate you, wanted to prove a point, wanted to humble you, wanted to put you in your place, wanted to teach you a lesson. People had a job to do. But you are the daughter and the son of a king. Where he say go. What he say you are, that's who you are. I don't care if you are an imperfect being. You know how to fall on your knees, and you know who to answer to, the one true living God. No matter what goes wrong in your life, no matter what somebody say about you, no matter what they do against you, no matter what power and control they have in this thing that we call life. The devil may control whatever goes on and what happened to you in the physical, but God owns what happens to you in the spiritual. And let me tell you something. He has the ability to deliver you, sanctify you, redeem you. You understand what I'm saying? When your soul and your spirit gets caught up out of this earthly body and this earthly realm, God has the ability to give you peace everlasting. He also has the ability to condemn those who did not do right in this thing that we call life, and cast them down in the lake of fire, where their flesh and their skin will burn everlasting. And people down there, you don't think they beg God for a chance to redeem themselves? Beg God for an ice crisp just to cool their tongue. They'll never get it. They'll never get it. And people don't think about the indecent acts that they commit against another, because they're not thinking rationally. Okay? They're not thinking rationally. They're being used. So I tell you all the time, people that don't want to be saved, let them, whatever they laughed at you for, whatever they laughed about what you couldn't do and what you understand, something wasn't that you couldn't do it. You were going through a period of affliction. Now, whatever the reason that God had that be dragged out, Joseph was 13 years. Job was up to a year. David was 15 years. You understand what I'm saying? Imagine going through affliction for that long. But when God steps through and he intervenes and he says what he says is going to happen and manifest and materialize in your life, baby, it was nobody that could stop Joseph. Those who condemned him and ridiculed him and laughed at him for being an upstanding person, wanting to, when Joseph said he's going to work and tend to the field, Joseph going to work and tend to the field. The brothers always was wayward, always had that bone and that blood and that kind of blood in them to be wayward, to lie, and hated Joseph because of who he was, because he was forthcoming. They the ones who needed him in the end. Them same friends who mocked Job, same friends that mocked Job, felt shame when they saw him receive everything of what he was meant to receive, double portion, double for his trouble, for his endurance of everything he went through. And he never once cursed or condemned God for not pulling him out of it sooner. He went through it. He struggled through it. Things happened. He lost things. And then there was a time where you're going to be able to rebuild. There's going to be a time where you're going to be flirted. There's a time, because what you went through wasn't normal. It wasn't supposed to happen. But because it did, and because you held on to God's unchanging hand, he has no choice but to allow you to step into your purpose, fulfill your destiny, and receive the promises and the blessings that he originally intended for you to have. You keep proving yourself on every end when people think that they're doing something against you, because there's no good reason and valid reason for why people do the things that they do, whether they know you or they don't know you, whether they know someone that was connected to you or not. You don't bother people. So what's the problem? I tell you what's the problem. Your light. That's what's the problem. When people come towards you, when people get wind of who you are, I keep telling you, it's something that drums up in them, baby. I don't know if it's demonic possession. I don't know what it is. But I'm telling you right now, whatever it is and whoever it is, whatever they cause, whatever you went through, there was a time for that, and now it's going to be a time for redemption. There's going to be a time for recovery. They may have mocked you, joked you, okay? They may have said the worst about you, and you were the one who were paying their bills. You were the one who put cash up in their hands. And I ain't talking about no little cheap, little piss money. I'm talking about some real money that makes shit move. But they flipped on you. Said, I don't care what you did for me. That ain't nothing. I want to be part of this group. In order to be part of this group, I got to tell them information about you. I got to go run your business. In order for me to do that, I got to play like I'm your friend, right? I got to play like I care, right? I got to play some type of role to get around you, to snake you. And it's the mere fact that when you came around, you was genuine. One thing about it, one thing for sure, two things for certain, you don't like somebody, you ain't finna part nobody's house, you ain't finna eat their damn food, you ain't finna talk about them, you're not finna give people energy by keeping them relevant up in your life. So something's weird going on that people need to wake up on what this really is and who you really are. And I'm telling you on everything I love, they need to understand something. One clear, valid rule. Very simple. Don't mess with who ain't messing with you. And for sure, don't curse somebody before you do your homework on who that person is, what covers them, what protects them, who backs them, and who will avenge them. Because I'm telling you on everything I love, everything that happened, everything that manifested up in your life at the hands of these people that forced it, they're going to be on their knees begging that God has mercy on their soul. It wasn't that they didn't know who you was. It's almost like some people got to do some stupid shit to you. Keep paying for work against you. Bury something in the ground about you, against you. Okay? And they thought that was going to be permanent. When God says that this is what they have in store for this person, when you go through an affliction period, it does not mean that the promise is not going to happen in the end. It's going to happen for your life, but before you die, best believe it. People who it did not materialize and happen for, let me tell you something, they served their purpose, whether they were on the right side of God or the wrong side of God. Everybody has their purpose. They has their season for whatever that may be. You have to find out what that is. But how will you ever find that out if you so busy and consumed on the next man? That ain't no way to live. I'm talking about for people who oppose me, for people who come across this video who oppose you. Know yourself and get that shit right, sir, ma'am. Figure out who you are. Figure out what you are meant to be doing. People who have that copycat spirit, have that spirit on them, baby. You got to stay clear of them people. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know who hurt him. But I keep telling you, you have to be very cognizant of who you allow up in your life. And that's where you have to take accountability. A lot of these people who snaked you are people who you trusted and you allowed in your life. But God did allow you to go through that affliction period to persecute you and punish you. Everything was meant to strengthen you, reposition you for purpose, for a greater calling in the level that he's trying to take you to. They thought you were going through affliction because what you talked about really weren't supporting you, really didn't back you. I wonder what they're saying now. Absolutely. I wonder what they're saying now, because if they don't believe nothing else, they see you standing, right? Something kept you standing. Something kept you in your right mind. Something kept you being vigilant and dutiful. Something kept you. Oh, okay. This is a prime example of think you got all the sense and you ain't got shit. Because I tell you all the time, they think they got all the sense and they think they got all the power because of money that they got up in their bank account, because what they allowed to do, who they can pay, what prominence or stature or image that they have to the world. You understand what I'm saying? And I keep telling you, when it comes to people like this, there's always something that they're going to go through that's going to allow them to see themselves for who they truly are, move in the direction that they need to move, and understand that God runs this show. Not you, not your money, not your power, not your connections, not your influence, affluence, not the that come up out your mouth, okay? Or whatever you pull up out your bottom. You don't run nothing, especially when it pertains to somebody else's life. And everything that you made happen up in somebody's life or not happen up in somebody's life, they paying for it. And everybody who they got up involved in it is seeing that. But it was funny to joke you and mock you on what you couldn't make happen up in your life when you had a group and a multitude of people trying to bind your damn will. It wasn't a fair fight, and they weren't trying to make it fair. But then they wanted to laugh at some shit, knowing that they weren't trying to give you a leveling playing field. But don't even worry about that. That's neither here nor there, baby. Because after you go through your affliction period and you hold on to his unchanging hand and you keep your faith, God will forcefully level them playing fields against everybody's will and against everybody's wants and wishes. They're going to understand, come hell or high water, who really runs it, who really runs the show, who really is in power. And the thing is, all they had to do was just let you be. You being happy for what you made happen and what you worked for made people get their panties tied up in a bunch like this. You didn't ask none of these people for help, didn't ask them for a recommendation, didn't ask them for a hand, but they wanted to put their hands together to smite you. Yeah. And the sick part about it, where they living in a world of delusion, these hoes really thought that after doing this shit to you, that they was gonna prosper. That's what I'm confused. You want to persecute someone else, but you thought that after it's all said and done, and who this person believe in and how hard they fight, I don't care if you have to walk from here to Timbuktu, all the way from here to Jerusalem. You finna walk praying, crying, fasting, humbling yourself. Baby, a death happened, but a rebirth is bound to occur. You can't fight the inevitable. It was bound to be. Whatever is meant to happen for your life, it's going to happen. No matter who was on your neck, who was on your back, playing with your life, messing with your name. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb, Fleeces White Snow. Shut it at 305 Kingway Project. Play with it, don't play with me. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. I always come with that real, never that fake. You know I keep it 100, which you know I keep it a buck, I keep it a bean, I keep it 100. You better hold your head up high and laugh. You understand what I'm saying? Hold that up, sir, ma'am. Pat that, stick that out, sir, ma'am. Get yourself up out that sun. Get yourself in that sun. Know who you are. Call yourself beauty. Call yourself beautiful and handsome every single day. Fight every single day for your goals and your accomplishments. I do not care how many rejections. I do not care how many doors close. I do not care who you lose and what you lose. Fight to get it back. For as long as you have life till God call you home, it ain't over till God say it's over. And until next time, you stay prayed up and be blessed. I love you.